you guys are not ready for what is coming in the coming days, weeks, and months in the United Kingdom, and dare I say it, in the world in general. Now, before we get started, I just want to, guys, I just want to talk about some of the things we've got to talk about in the live stream, because I am going to give you guys a trigger warning, because I've got something to talk about that's quite difficult to listen to, and it's one of those things that's quite difficult to listen to, but I do think it's relevant. And I think people, a lot of people need to understand the pattern recognition here, the basic basic pattern recognition. So let's just talk about a few things that have happened in the last 24 hours in the crazy United Kingdom. So first of all, we've had little Tulip, Tulip Siddiqui, her aunt. So for those of you guys who don't know, we've got this politician. You couldn't make this up, guys. You couldn't make this up. The anti-corruption member of parliament has now been sentenced to 2 years for corruption, but not corruption in the United Kingdom, corruption in Bangladesh. So don't worry about it, guys. She's only a criminal in Bangladesh. She is clean as a whistle over here, guys. She's clean as a whistle. And just for context as well, her aunt, she's been sentenced to, I think she's actually been sentenced to death for crimes against humanity. There was a student uprising, there was a student protest, and 1,400 of them kind of didn't come back from that. They were transcended to beams of light, allegedly, guys. Okay, allegedly. Although she has been tried and convicted in a court, and that's what they're saying. Now, another thing about her, I think there's something like, there's a couple of $1 billion missing, unaccounted, and she's like, I don't know where this billions of dollars is, and I'm sure little Tulip Siddiqui has no idea where those billions of dollars are. But these are the people who are in charge of the country right now. So, and I keep saying something on this channel, and it really does get me annoyed when I see people now who have no idea what they're talking about. And honestly, like, let me find this. Right, I'm going to share with you guys this video. I don't know who this guy is. He's from, I think this is his page on YouTube called, not YouTube, on X, called The Great British National Strike. Now, he's got a blue tick. Look, guys, and let me be quite clear. I'm not, being negative about this guy here. I'm not being negative about this guy at all. All I'm going to say is, like, it's annoying. It's annoying. Now, I'm not being negative about this guy at all. I'll come on to that in a second.
Doesn't even exist.
So this guy, he posted this earlier, and a few people have been saying the same. And a few of you guys on my TikTok have been sending me this video. And like, do people not understand what's happening? Like, do people not understand what's happening? So let's play this video, and I'll show you guys why nothing matters.
I'm still trying to process what's just happened. I'm in genuine shock, yeah? So this morning, I reported Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves to the police for fraud.
Okay, first of all, that's not how it works, all right? You can't do that, but we'll go with it.
I called the Metropolitan Police first, and they said I had to speak to my local police force. They wouldn't touch it. So I called Cheshire Police, who, despite me saying there is clear evidence that these people have lied to the British public to gain a financial advantage by taking more money off us through tax for a reason that doesn't even exist, despite the evidence showing that these people have committed billions of pounds worth of fraud against all of us. Just watch what happened.
So I'm not going to play the video, but he phones the police. He phones, I think it's Cheshire Police or whatever. He phones Cheshire Police up. But what I'm getting at here, ladies and gentlemen, is, none of this matters. None of this matters without that legal framework, without the ability to oppose a tyrannical government. And I keep saying it over and over again. I keep saying it over and over again, guys. I keep saying it over and over again. We have nothing in the United Kingdom until we have a legal framework to oppose a tyrannical government. Because what happens is Keir Starmer will just do you think Keir Starmer's in charge of the police? So the police are not going to investigate him. He's just going to say, yeah, don't investigate that. This is not fraud. This is not fraud. Now, if we had some sort of constitution whereby we could look at that constitution and say, whoa, hang on a minute. Look, clause 4 here, you guys can't lie to us and rob us. Oh, yeah, clause 4. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right, actually. We're not allowed to lie to you and rob you. All right. And if it says, yeah, look, if you lie to us and rob us, you guys have to go. Yeah, but we don't have a constitution, do we? We don't have any of that. And all the, and all these good intentions, guys, all these good intentions in the world. And look, guys, that guy who I've just shared I'm not being negative to him or anything. I'm just saying, that with all the intention in the world, nothing will happen because we don't have any rights. We do not have the right to defend ourselves against a tyrant. If Keir Starmer turned, I don't know, let's just say let me just be wild, guys. Let me just be wild, right? Let me just be absolutely wild and say something like that only dictators do. Let's say, for example, that Keir Starmer stopped trial by jury or something, or he gave criminals lenient sentences and people who post online harsh sentences. Let's just say something wild like that happened, all right? Or let's just say there was his chancellor who's in charge of the money, and she got up in front of everybody and she lied and she raised taxes and just fleeced everybody. Let's just say something like that happened. I know that would never happen. But we don't have anything to protect ourselves. So until people stop bitching about these things and start doing what's necessary, nothing's going to change. I just want to share with you guys another picture as well. I want to share with you guys this picture here. Where is this? Well, it's a little video, actually. And I said this would happen. I absolutely said this would happen 100%. So just before I share this, can you guys remember, I don't know how long you guys have been following me. Can you guys remember when I said, people are saying, oh, Sean, are you going down to the Unite the Kingdom rally? Are you going down to this, to show your support? I said, no, it won't change anything. It's not going to change anything, So let me just show you guys this real quick. Now, look at all these people here, guys. Now, some estimates are that there were 3 million people there. The low-end estimates are 150,000 people. Now, those are wildly, I know that metric's wild, but look at the people here. There. Look at those people, guys. Look at all those people. Can you see them? Can you see all those people? Honestly, guys, I don't know how many people are there, but can you see all those people? Okay, right. All those people there. What did they achieve? And I'm not being negative at all, guys. I'm asking a simple question. All those people there, they were all waving their flags. They were all chanting. What did they achieve? I would say they achieved nothing. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. They achieved nothing. Absolutely. I think what they did do is they showed people, they let everybody know. Everybody who's feeling, oh God, the walls are closing in. I'm going down here. I'm seeing African migrants here. I'm seeing Syrian migrants here. Oh God. They let people know that they're not alone. I do think that was a good thing. I do. I think that was a good thing. Now, riddle me this, riddle me that. Just, guys, look, I always, look, guys, I'm giving you guys Raven logic, okay? I'm giving you guys Raven logic, all right? How much money How much money do you think each one of those people spent? Like, how much money do you think each one of those people spent getting to London, getting to London, maybe getting a hotel if they can find one, maybe drinks and dinner, how much money do you think each person spent on average, on average? How much money do you think they spent? How much money do you think, was generated there? I would say a lot. I would say a lot of money. I would say each person spent at least 100 quid. Now, if we consider that there, if we go top end and say there was 3 million people there spending 100 quid each, that's 300 million quid. I don't know the numbers, guys. I don't know the numbers. Now, and it achieved nothing. Zero, zilch, 0.00, nothing. Nothing was achieved. There's no change. Keir Starmer didn't come out going, stop the boots. Nothing. Literally nothing's happened. Now, hear me out, guys. Hear me out. How about we do Raven's plan? How about we do Raven's plan, right? It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier and it's a lot more effective, all right? All those people that went down to that protest, literally, we all chip in 2 quid. Literally, you stay at home. You have the weekend at home. You don't have to go to London and deal with that shit. You chip in 2 quid and we find the best barristers, the best legal teams, and we say, right, find me the legal framework that we can protect ourselves from a tyrannical government. We start this train going. Then we would have achieved something, because then we would have got the ball rolling and people then in there. I mean, guys, listen, I've had one of my mum's friends, they've just sold their shop. Honestly, it was one of these wild conversations that I had. They came up to me, they said, Sean, we know you used to be in army. I'm like, yeah, what do you want? He's like, well, can you tell us how to, what do we need? Should we buy? I'm like, no, stop. I'm like, stop, right? And listen, guys, I will say this to anybody. Nobody should be buying or arming themselves right now. Those things are counterproductive. If you are worried and you want to spend your money on something, right? Food, water, and make sure your car's always got diesel or petrol in it. That way you can at least evacuate from wherever you are, right? I'm seeing people and people asking me questions and stuff like, should we go and buy a cross? No, it's fucking ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous. That sort of shit will get people hurt. It will get yourself hurt and it will get you put in prison, all right? So don't do any of that. The reality is nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen until the people of this country have some sort of legal framework to protect themselves from from a tyrannical government. Now, also, a lot of these, these auditors, AY audits, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You've all seen them. There's AY audits, BB audits. Apparently, they got arrested in Chesterfield. I think it was over the weekend. They got arrested in Chesterfield. Now, do you think they're going to be tried with a jury? Do you think a jury is going to come out and try them? Or do you think one judge is going to try them? Absolutely not. These people are going to get taken down. The government will close down on them. And there's nothing you can do legally. There's nothing you can do legally. And before anybody says on the chat, oh, we'll do it illegally then. We're nowhere near that yet, guys. We are nowhere near that. Before it gets to that, we need that legal framework so it doesn't get to that stage. But because, beyond no illusion, ladies and gentlemen, that is the direction of travel that we are heading right now in the United Kingdom. It's a one-way ticket, ladies and gentlemen. It's a one-way ticket. And then we've got the BBC. So the BBC, I love the BBC. I love, what is it? The British Bias Company? Or is it the British bullshit? I don't know. So the BBC, even the BBC, guys, you know it's bad when a liberal government is being accused of lying by the BBC. I mean, we know how bad the BBC are, right? We know how bad the BBC are. When the BBC are accusing Rachel Reeves of lying over the budget, you're like, oh, yeah, okay, that is a bit peculiar. What's going on there? No events. crazy times we're in, guys. Listen, so the crux of this live stream, guys, okay? People need to brace themselves because we're not going to get that legal framework. It's just not going to happen. All right, I can scream until I'm blue in the face. I can scream until I'm red in the face. You know, I can wave my arms around. It's not going to happen. We ain't going to get that legal framework, guys. So what comes next? And this is what I don't think people... So right now, just hypothetically, right? Let's just say Nigel Farage. Oh, it doesn't fucking matter. Let's just say whatever. Kevin Badenoch, Rupert Lowe, what's his name? Robert Jenrick. They stood up and they're like, right, Keir, what protections do the people of the United Kingdom have from a tyrannical government? Oh, they can vote. Okay, but what real protections? Oh, they have trial by... Okay, what real protections? Oh, they don't have any. Right, okay. And let's just say, like, hypothetically, if that happened tomorrow, right, and we all had that legal protection to protect ourselves, we would still enter a phase of civil war. It just wouldn't be as brutal as the one that's coming. Remember, the United States had to fight a bloody 8-year war. And I don't mean bloody as in like, oh, you bloody rotters. How dare you? How dare you disrespect the Queen, I tell you. Take my shoe and I demand Take my glove and I demand satisfaction, good sir. Ooh, satisfaction, sir. Yes, sir, I demand satisfaction. Satisfaction you shall have. You know, where was I going? I don't know. Where was I going? Yeah. So let's just say, you know, that the United States fought an 8-year war, a really bad war. A lot of people died. That was the American Civil War. For the Americans to get the right to their independence. Yeah, I celebrate it as Treason Day, but I love my American friends. I do. I touch them. I caress them dearly. So they had to fight an 8-year war to get the right to bear arms. They had to fight a bloody 8-year war against the government. And then after that, this is, you know, people who don't understand history are doomed to repeat it. And that's why the Americans will not give up their guns, because those guns that the Americans have, they can hold the government to account. They can like, oh, hang on a minute, mate. You ain't doing that, mate. That's bullshit. Like, for example, Epping. Epping is the perfect example. I used to give you guys a hypothetical scenario, but you know what, guys? I always think, I'm just going to let you into a little secret. And I know you guys like my secrets. You guys love the Raven secrets. I'm going to let you into a little secret. A real scenario holds a lot more weight than a hypothetical scenario. The hypothetical scenario I used to give you guys was like, if somebody's firstborn child, if the government passed a law, the gavels came down and everybody's firstborn child had to be taken to the, given to the government and you never see them again. Whatever. Think whatever happens to those children. Now we can give a real scenario. So this is real, guys. I'm not making this up. This is a perfect example of why we need some sort of Second Amendment law in the United Kingdom. And by Second Amendment, I do not mean guns. I mean the right to defend yourself forcefully against the government, because we don't have that right now. So Epping, Bell Hotel in Epping. The people of Epping wanted that hotel closed down, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong, guys? I know I'm right because I'm saying it. They peacefully protested, you know, outside that hotel. They did. You had the pink ladies, you had the nanans, very difficult, you know. The local council. So, like, if you guys are in America or wherever, like your I don't know, state government or whatever, I don't know how you guys roll. They said, well, do you know what? Yeah, you're right. Actually, we're going to get this hotel closed down. Their member of parliament, they're like, yep, I'm standing with my constituents. We do not want this hotel open because you know, girls are being harassed. There's sexual assaults, and you know, these are proven. You know, so we want that hotel closed down. Yeah, everybody wanted it closed down. The government said no. How's that democracy? Who's really in charge? Who's really in charge? Are the people who are paying the taxes in charge? or are the people who they're paying the taxes to? And don't forget, guys, when universal basic income comes back out, we're going to be paying our taxes, receiving taxes, and then they're going to, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. And people can't see what a lot of people can't see what we're talking about. Amir the Cricket is saying Bangladesh and Pakistan are fake countries. All was India before. Yeah, they were. It was all India before. Right, let me jump down, guys. Let me jump down. Right, let me jump down. Good evening, everyone. Right, guys, I've just been waffling, haven't I? I've just been waffling for 20 minutes. Right, I have got a trigger warning for you guys. I'm not going to give this yet. I have got a trigger warning for you guys. Like I said, I'm not going to give it yet. I'll give it in a little bit. I'm going to mention something that's pretty, Sean, I ask AI, and when it mentions voting, ask what we do if voting doesn't work. Tell us what happens if voting doesn't work. Tell us what happens if voting doesn't work. Hang on, Donna. What's Donna saying? What's Donna saying? Where's Donna? Donna was saying something. What's Donna saying? I'm trying to find Donna's comment. Donna's saying something. Right, I'm jumping up to get Donna's posts. Right, where's Donna? Right. Yeah, I think that we spoke about this morning. NATO are considering preemptive strikes. I've always said that NATO will start this war. I have. And I don't mean NATO will start this war intentionally. I mean NATO will start this war by accident. I've said it so many times. I was talking about this morning. So I don't want to rehash things I was talking about this morning. But I will just quickly give you guys my rundown on how I think World War III will start. But listen, guys, we are already in World War IV. Remember, World War III and World War IV are going to be World War III and World War IV are going to be fought together. And World War IV has already started. So I think, and it would be my speculation that because all these countries now are implementing Article 4, which is not Article 5, Article 4 gives legal framework. Sean, you and your legal frameworks, are you some sort of lawyer? No, I've been in the military and I understand that whatever people do, you're going to get solicitors and legal companies come chase after you years and years and years after that event. So now that legal framework's been set with Article 4, the Russians they're either going to fly into that location, they're going to do something, and the NATO forces will shoot down an aircraft. The Russians will retaliate, and it will all be done in about 30 minutes. Like, guys, you guys have no idea how much violence can happen in 30 minutes. Like, the amount of violence that can happen in 30 minutes is absolutely phenomenal. And that's how it's going to happen. Googly saying Wembley murderer as man stabbed to death in broad daylight and a knife been on the news. Is there any description of this man? Donna is saying Reuters. Russia says NATO remarks on preemptive strikes are irresponsible and escalatory. European leaders are focusing on Ukraine whilst more visitors turn up on our shores. It is crazy, guys. When yesterday when I was on the live stream and we were talking about the amount of money that's been plowed, and I mean plowed, guys, the amount of money that's being plowed into Ukraine and the amount that's being stolen, allegedly, guys, it's allegedly, so it's mouth-watering. It is absolutely mouth-watering. Shaky is saying, but as you say, we don't have that legal framework. We'll never get it. So what's the alternative? Water and tin food? Well, I'm not telling you what the alternative is. I'm going to tell you what will happen. There's no blow-off valve. There's no escape valve for this now. Our shores are getting overrun. Our water is not fit to drink. Our food contains shit that we can't even pronounce. And we're getting billed for it. We're getting poorer. We don't have a life. There's a movie, I can't remember what it is. There's this movie, and he say, and like in the movie, he says, "Oh, it's only it's in another country. They won't bother me. It's in another country." And then, "Oh, it's in another town. It's in another state. They won't bother me. They won't bother me." And then it's "Oh, it's on another street. It won't bother me. It won't bother me." And then it's like, "Oh, it's 2 doors away. It won't." But then all of a sudden, it's on you. Don Ronnie is saying they are shutting down live streams. They don't want you to know the truth. Guys, listen, these, all these auditors, all these auditors that go out, they're going to get closed down. They will get closed down. There will be, a lot of these guys are going to be in jail, guys, okay? They're going to be in jail. Now is not the time to poke your head up. If we are heading towards a civil war, I don't feel there's any way out of it now. I really don't, guys. I don't feel there's any way out of it. We're heading towards, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, my humblest opinion, we're heading towards a civil war. There's no way out of it. If you stick your head, if you stick your head out above the water too early, it's gonna get, a fisherman's gonna snap you up. So the man accused of the stabbing on Huntingdon train refuses to attend court. What happened to just beating the shit out of people, guys? Like, what happened to just, beating the shit out of people? We give more rights to murderers than the people they've murdered. Am I wrong? Do you know what, guys? I'm going to ask a question. Do you know what? Scratch what I've just said. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Does it seem that we give more, that murderers get more rights than the people, than the people that have done the crime? Right, let me jump down, guys. There's loads of comments. And a follow-on. Russia said Monday that remarks by NATO's most senior military officer. I don't think it was his most senior military officer. That led the US-led military alliance could consider a preemptive strike to be extremely, I think the next word is going to be provocative, irresponsible, and an attempt to move towards escalation. Look, guys, how everybody, I see this all the time, and I totally accept everybody's like, if you're sat in the United Kingdom right now and you're saying, I don't want to get involved in a fucking war in Ukraine, that is, you know what, guys, I've got absolutely fine. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that. If people are sat there and they're saying, "Oh, the Ukrainians were provoked," you're like, no, nobody was that. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. If people say that Zelensky started a war, or it's ridiculous. This war started in 2013, essentially. Before Zelensky was even in power. Stephen is saying, Raven, check this out. Strange radio signals detected from beneath Antarctica. I love Antarctica, guys. I'm going to move there soon. We're all going to move there one day, and we're going to live in broad sunlit uplands, probably under a fusion reactor or something. Strange radio signals detected from beneath Antarctica. Ice defy current. Oh, sorry. Detected from beneath Antarctica ice defy current physics, as they seem to come from below Antarctica. Antarctica is out, mate. Some sods living under the ice. No, what I think this was, if I understand it right, this was new. I think this was neutrinos. I think this is I think this is from a while ago. I think they figured out what it was. I think this was neutrinos coming the other way. I think this was neutrinos coming from the other way. Googly saying, woman 55 left confined in a wheelchair after mother of 7 testing new SUV plows into her. Listen, I think I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning now. I think I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning. I am. I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning now. So, guys, listen, I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning now. And, you know, if you don't realize how much we need to stop these masses of uncontrolled migrants coming into the United Kingdom, first of all, like, and I'm going this from an absolute security point of view. I'm going this from a security point of view, guys, all right? We don't know who these people are. We don't know what crimes they've committed in what countries. We know that Madapasa, you know, the guy who's going, Nigel Farage, you know, we know that Madapasa was wanted for, I think it was Sweden. I'm pretty sure it was Sweden, you know. So I just want to, I want to give you guys a trigger warning, guys. I'm going to share with you guys some stuff that's going to be really difficult about Sweden. You'll see where I'm going in a minute because the information that it gives you. Now, if you're not in the mood for this, guys, just like go and have a cup of tea, come back in like 5 minutes or something, like 4 or 5 minutes, because we really, like, nothing else is important. There's nothing else as important to the safety and the continuity of Western culture in the English culture in the United Kingdom than stopping these boats and stopping this migration. Now, I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning because there's some stuff in here and it is pretty brutal. I'll try and go through it as I'll try and go through it as you know, without getting too emotional. Anyway, so this article here, this girl here, Luna, 9-year-old Swedish schoolgirl Luna was strangled into a coma by an Ethiopian migrant teen. Now, on some articles that you read about this, she was sexually assaulted as well. She's in a coma. She can't walk. That's her now. She's in a wheelchair. The only word she's managed to say, she can't walk. She can't move. The only word she's managed to say is mother. So the only word she's managed to say since the incident when this happened to her when she was 9. I'm just going to scroll down, guys. Okay. So the 9-year-old Swedish girl beaten into a coma on the playground by a 13-year-old Ethiopian who'd just been given permanent residence. So this Ethiopian boy, the Swedish said, "Look, come in, we'll look after you. We've got you for life. We'll look after you. We'll look after you." And, that's what happened. Now, the article is absolutely devastating. When you read all of this article, guys, it is absolutely devastating because there's so much, there is so much that keeps coming out and out and out. After the young girl was stripped naked, molested, strangled with her own shoelaces, and tied to a tree and left for dead in the woods as she travelled home from school. Guys, look after your kids. If you've got girls, just fucking look after them. You need to be like, I don't even know how you bridge these conversations with your kids. It's really difficult. It's very difficult to bridge these conversations with your kids. And I don't, but we've got to do this. We've got to bridge these conversations with our kids, And here we go, guys. Here we go. The Ethiopian teen had been a menace nearly from the moment he arrived in Sweden. Does it sound familiar? Are you guys getting pattern recognition? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Those Norwegian fishermen. The Ethiopian teen had been a menace nearly from the moment he arrived in Sweden. The boy had been in and out of neighbouring schools and had a history of documenting sexual assaults, viewing graphic pornography on school computers and assaulting a woman near an underpass where Luna's body was later found. So this is another one. Sweden. Sudanese national who murdered teen and raped woman sentenced to life. Sweden, Ethiopian family members arrested for suspected honor killings in Stockholm. Sweden, Syrian national who raped 12-year-old girl in public toilet sentenced. I remember talking about this one. Sentenced to gender talks and avoids deportation and jail time. So there you go, guys. There you go. If you're a Syrian national and you rape a 12-year-old girl in public toilets in Sweden, you just get talked to and you avoid deportation and you avoid jail time. Asylum seeker avoids deportation despite brutal murder of 17-year-old Swedish girl. After murder of Lola in Paris by an Algerian migrant with deportation order, data reveals only 0.2% of Algerians are successfully deported. Vienna shocked by rape and murder of 13-year-old girl. 2 Afghans arrested. Now, if you read this whole article, it does get quite brutal into into how these things happened. But and I'm going to come back to there's clearly a reason. There's clearly a reason why the government are not stopping this. And if you go down that rabbit hole, it's crazy. Anyway, right, let me jump to the bottom, guys. Let me jump to the bottom. Darren is saying, really makes you think who's running this shit show. Well, it's certainly not the government. It's certainly not the government who are running this shit show. 15 minutes to sun coming storm. Sun, what? Sun coming storm 3. What? Hang on. Right. 15 minutes, the sun, coming storm, 3 ways arch enemies, China and Japan, could trigger World War III, from jet clash to warship standoff and tensions to explode over Taiwan. We don't really hear much about Taiwan anymore, do we? Listen, guys, and I think a good, people say to me, oh, Sean, why don't you talk about Taiwan and China? I'm saying, because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Like right now, if you look in the Caribbean, you've got all the naval warships. You've got the United States military moving in. They're testing their equipment. They're getting ready to do something because they've got the ships there. And those ships on, there's no Chinese ships in and around that area of in the South China Sea. So it's just something I don't talk about. A mini escalation of war of words sparked by Tokyo's comments on Taiwan revealed how knife-edge relations could spiral into direct military confrontation with one wrong move. Scottish crypto is saying, be very worried about oil and gas industry. I live in Aberdeen and big companies leaving every few months. Time to scrap green scam deals and urgently. So what are you saying, Scottish crypto? Are you saying that what are you saying, Scottish crypto? Because I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying the oil and gas industry is about to collapse? Or are you saying... I don't know what you're saying. Tracy Doll is saying... Oh, hang on. Andy is saying Aberdeen is dying. I think you're right there. They put a lot of their effort into the gas and oil industry, but it's gone tits up for them boys. Aye, so it have. Right, let me jump up and get some comments. Joshua, that is from... Oh God. I'll put a link in the bio. It's from it's from Ethiopia, Ethiopanorama. Ethiopanorama.com. Ethiopanorama.com. Right, let me jump up. You're reading all of this out, Sean, and you're wanting a legal framework. Men need to act now. No apologies. Right. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Do you want me to say and go break the law? Do you want me to say? Do you want me to encourage? Shall I encourage everybody to break the law? Is that what you want me to do? Don't break the law, guys. Don't break the law. Don't break the law. Right? We've got to live by those rules. If without that legal framework, we have nothing. That's it. Nothing. There's nothing you can do legally. And you can leave the country. You can leave the country if you want. You can, you can leave the country. You can, I don't know. But this is the predicament we're in. I'm telling you what's happening. The solution. The solution would be, there isn't a solution right now without a full scale, what it's going to take to bring this country back. And I'm not convinced. I don't know if it can be brought back at this point. Is a full scale civil war, absolute full scale civil war. And in that, I don't know if you guys have seen men fighting. It's not pretty. I don't mean Mick and Dave outside of the pub, on a Friday night where Mick has said something derogatory to Dave's girlfriend, and Dave's girlfriend was wearing a scantily clad dress, and they're going fisticuffs outside. I'm talking about real war. Nobody needs that, guys. Nobody needs that. When you've got gangs of 30 or 40 young men, and they're storming into somebody's house, smashing the doors and doing horrific things. Because that's what we're talking about here. And nobody needs that, guys. Nobody needs that. Option A is a lot more fun than option B. Sure, new rules affect everyone with a wood burner. As planned, yeah, I've seen these new rules, guys. I've seen these new rules with the log burner. I've seen these new rules with the log burner. Yeah. In France, I think it was their naivety. Jesus was decapitated. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are joining for the first time, if you guys have just jumped on, we are talking about the bracing of thyself, because I'm pretty convinced now that nobody is ready for what's coming. We've had, we've got all sorts of people screaming and wasting their energy on the wrong things. They're wasting their energy on this protest, on that protest. It's changing nothing. And the direction of travel is still the same. We have got a government now that, according to the BBC, who are lying to us. And if they're going to lie about one thing, they're going to lie about two things. And I see all these people as well. All these people saying, Sean. We need Rachel Reeves to resign. Do you think Rachel Reeves is making these decisions, guys? Do you think Rachel Reeves is making these decisions? She hasn't got a clue what she's doing. Little ceramic Lego head, bob head. Do you know what? And I think that's a good look. I do. I'm very fond of the. I'm very fond of the Lego head. So you've got all these people and all this energy. Yeah, we need to get Rachel Reeves to resign. So fucking what? Right, she goes tomorrow. Somebody else fills. Tulip Sadiq fills her shoes. All right, now I've got Tulip Sadiq. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who's in those positions, guys, because ultimately they're not the people. They're the puppets. We need to find out who the puppet masters are. Sharon Owen is saying good evening. Good evening to you, Sharon Owen. Good evening. Good evening, Sharon. Rocketman Gaming is saying, people, diesel heaters run on cooking oil if you ever need to. Isn't cooking oil more expensive than diesel? I'm pretty sure, excuse me, I'm pretty sure cooking oil is more expensive than diesel. And Googleino is saying appeal after report of indecent exposure by a man wearing a balaclava. Guys, it's funny at this point. It's actually funny at this point. It's funny, you know. It's funny how we're seeing. It's funny how we're seeing men of unknown origin running into Greggs with their hoods up. You know, running into Greggs with their hoods up and you know, taking whatever they want. How's doing these legally going, guys? There is no legal framework for us. We have had enough people in numbers to overthrow the government peacefully first. Ladies and gentlemen, it will get to that point. You know, I believe it will get to that point, but we need that. Like, we're not there yet. We're not there. Do you know why we're not there? Because too many people are holding on to their jobs. Too many people, like. So if you knew me in my private life, I love a game of poker. I love playing cards. I don't mind. I love a card game. You know, and one of the you'll see where I'm going with this in a second, guys. All right. And one of the things that I do when I'm playing poker, Texas Hold'em, I will have an all-in pot. So I will have an all-in pot. Now, my all-in pot will be half of my chips. So I don't know. Say you're playing with $100 of chips or whatever. You know, I will have $50 as my all-in pot. And then if I lose $50, I'll just go all in with my $50 because it's still a considerable size. Everybody else has just started playing, so I've got some punch. But what would happen is if I didn't have that all-in pot, that power, that strength, that massive numbers, that those chips to say boom, all in to scare people off, the numbers. I keep playing the blinds and then I just fizzle away. I don't like fizzling away, guys. I don't like fizzling away. I think I'm going to go down in a blaze of glory. Absolute blaze of glory. You know, maybe I'll get taken down by a planet. Maybe it will actually be Jupiter himself who has to take me down. But anyway, what I'm getting at here is the death by 1,000 cuts. So I understand the all-in pot, and that's kind of my philosophy in life. I will see the situation. I'll think, right, this is going bad. Let's go now. Let's not wait. Let's do it now. That's my theory, guys. That's my theory. People in the United Kingdom right now are shackled. Right, guys, in the comments right now, do you have a mortgage? Do you pay rent? Do you have car payments? Do you have kids at school? Do you have a gas bill? Do you have electricity bill? Can you afford to be off work? No, of course not. So people are letting that chip them down. Remember, guys, I would say 80 to 90% of the people in the United Kingdom, they've no idea what's happening, and they're all going to vote reform, hoping that's going to change things. And I hope it changes things. I don't think it will. I've met Nigel, and he came across as a very. I've met Nigel. I'm not usually wrong with my first impressions, and I trust him. I do. I trust him. I think Nigel's great. I trust him. I've only met him once. I'm not I'm not best mates with him. I've not got him on WhatsApp or anything, but, I've met him. We've had a conversation, a couple of conversations, and I trust him. I do. I absolutely trust Nigel Farage. That's not the problem. The problem is the system, the whole system. So Nigel Farage gets elected, right? Let's just go with it, right? Let's just say Nigel Farage gets elected next election, 2029. Another couple of million people in the United Kingdom that shouldn't be here. Let's just say Farage gets elected, 2029 or whatever. And, or whatever, it doesn't matter. And now he's prime minister. He's standing there and he's prime minister. Let's not think that the United Kingdom have the same democratic processes as the United States. In the United States, the president has executive power. What that means is the president can sign bits of paper and tell people to do shit. Our prime minister can't do that. They have to propose a bill. That bill has to be scrutinized in Parliament. Then they vote on it. The whole thing takes fucking forever. So can you imagine, Like, look what Nigel Farage is doing with the Somalians in Minnesota. I think it's fun. I think it's hilarious. I do. I think it's hilarious. You know, so you've got all these Somalian gangs there, you know, and all these big Somalian gangs who are like big gangsters. They're not so gangster when the big boys come knocking at their door. It's time for you to go, mate. You know, they're not that big gangsters anymore. Anyway, we don't have that facility here in the United Kingdom. So tell me how this gets better. Tell me how this gets better. It doesn't. Right, Leroy. We said we was going to have none of this unless Zelensky flees to Israel. We did. We said we're going to have none of this unless Zelensky flees to Israel. And then if Zelensky and his mates all flee to Israel, I will start looking at this seriously. I'm not turning that on. Elizabeth Dreyer is saying they can't arrest us all. Right, Elizabeth, you go first. You go first, Elizabeth. You go first. Wins appeal after being refused UK asylum. Yes, is this the one in? This is the one in. Is this the one in? Is this the one in Kuala Lumpur? I read that earlier. Yeah, I think that's the one in Kuala Lumpur. I think I've just done Googly's comment. That one. Jane Taylor is saying, when they sell off our homes from under us, will we stand up? Will it be too late? Okay, working to keep a roof over our heads, but they have decided already it's their asset, not yours. Yeah. You know, listen, guys, what's his name? One of the Tate brothers, he put a post out the other day and he said, if you can't hide it, you don't own it. And I thought, wow, you know, I don't know who makes Andrew Tate stuff up. I don't know who makes Andrew. I don't know if it's him himself. I hope it is. But I was like, wow, what a powerful little one-liner. If you can't hide it, you don't own it. And I think that's true with the government right now. So, you know, they've got this, what's it called? Mansion tax. You know, the mansion tax? Like, this mansion tax is going to disseminate down and down and down and down and down and down. I don't know where it won't stop. It can't stop because each successive government will see it as an easy way to raise a few more quid. Like this pay per mile. Buy an electric car. They're miles shitter than normal cars and you get range anxiety. But you know what? Buy one anyway. You get free stuff. Oh, okay. I'll buy one. Yep. Now you're going to pay more. Oh, I didn't see that one coming. People are silly, guys. People are silly. Googly is saying nearly 1 in 3 children in Glasgow don't speak English as their first language. Yeah, they speak Glaswegian. And I'm not even going to listen, guys. I need an interpreter when I'm talking to a Glaswegian. Here, Googly, do you come for a min, bro? Hey, do you come for a min? Do you want to go down now? What? Fucking hell, stop it. When I was in the army, right, I was in B Company 1 Para. I don't know if when I first joined, it was like B Company 1 Para when I first joined in like 99. Well, I joined in 99. It was full of jocks. Like, if you guys want to experience racism, right, when you're like 16 years old and there's just, it's full of jocks, these really like aggressive Glaswegian jocks. And at like 16, you're terrified in your room. You are absolutely terrified because people are getting beatings all the time. It's quite brutal. And you would, if you were staying behind at the weekend, you'd know because like you'd hear Braveheart playing. And oh my God, they've got Braveheart on. And then you'd hear, "Hey, you English prick! Hey, hey, freedom!" And you're like, oh my God. And like, there was maybe like 4 or 5 English people in the whole company. And I can remember walking back from it was only like 12 o'clock something. I was walking back, and I don't know why. I don't know why I did this, guys. But I looked up, and honestly, guys, it was like a beer bottle. It was a green one, so like Beck's or something. It was a beer bottle. I moved out of the way, and it smashed on the floor. And somebody just shouted, "English prick!" I thought, like, if that had have hit me in the face from like 2 stories up, it's game over for Raven. That's game over for Raven. So yeah, I totally understand that a lot of people in Glasgow, they don't speak, a lot of people in Glasgow don't speak English. And I think they're proud of it as well. I think they're proud of it. Why would I want to join the army when I would be too right wing? Yeah, you know what I did? I saw that. This has always been a thing. It's always been a thing in the military. They really push down the anti right wing thing on people in the military. Yeah, I agree. It's just wild. It's wild. I think they're pushing this out. Because they're worried about a military. I mean, listen, guys, you want to go down conspiracy lane and put your tinfoil hats on? Let's put our tinfoil hats on, guys. I would say that one of the reasons that the military are all of a sudden pushing, and they are really pushing it, guys, a lot more than when I was in. They've got like little leaflets and stuff. And Aunt Middleton posted about this as well. He's, so maybe they're worried about the military uprising against them, because ultimately, guys, I mean, like, if there were to be a military coup, there'd be nothing the government could do. Nothing, like absolutely nothing. Like, all it would take is one battalion with guns march into Parliament. Yeah, we're taking over now. We're putting Raven in charge. Galloway Raider is saying, "I'm fluent in Glaswegian. Sometimes we need interpreters when we speak to our Glaswegian brothers and sisters." Right, let me jump down, guys. Googleino. Oh, hang on. Let me get this. I'll have to get this. So this is from 26 minutes ago, guys. 26 minutes ago. I may have to have a beer. So this is from 26 minutes ago. I will. I've got, guys. It's full of ads. I'm not going to share it. 26 minutes ago from the Daily Star. World War III could have just been started as gung-ho leaders make missile decision. As tensions continue to rise across the world, one nation may have just lit the fuse on World Can you guys, am I back on? Guys, am I on? Am I on? I don't know if I'm streaming. Am I still, guys, I don't know if I'm back on. Am I on? Can you see me? Can you see me? Guys, I don't know if I'm on. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. Maybe it was the Russians. Maybe it was the Russians or the Chinese. Maybe it was a cyber attack. I don't know. Right, guys, I'm going to get a beer. I'm going to get a beer. Give me a second. Oh, I totally fucked that up. I've had it in the freezer too long. Yeah, I'm not going to get a beer. See, I don't know whether to open that. It's like... Right, I don't think I'm going to open that because it's frozen inside. I don't want it to go wrong. So I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to, Raven is not going to have a beer, guys. Raven's not having a beer. It's all gone wrong. Listen, guys, I'll let you into a little secret. I'm going to give you, guys, listen, tell me if you know the answer. What do a frozen beer, a burnt pizza, and a pregnant woman have in common? What do a frozen beer, a burnt pizza, and a pregnant woman have in common? They're all things that happen when a man leaves it in too long. I'm here all night, guys. I'm here all night. Right, let me where was I going with this? Yeah, so what we are seeing actually here is this new conflict zone open up. So you're going to have Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Taiwan, and the United States. And maybe I don't think there'll be echelons of the Europeans left, but they're going to be the guys that are going to be fighting the war in that Indo-Pacific region. And what you're seeing is the initial saber rattling to get people ready. Okay, so for those guys who didn't hear it, there's been I'm just going to read this, okay, from the Daily Star. This was 26. This was 8:26. This was released, so like I don't know, just 20 whatever minutes ago. Updated at 8:27. So World War III could have just been started as gung-ho leaders make missile decision. As tensions continue to rise across the world, one nation may have just lit the fuse on World War III as it picks a fight with one of the strongest countries in the world. World War III could have just been started in the most bizarre place. It comes after the Japanese government decided to take a stand against one of the strongest countries in the world. Remember, the Japanese won't be doing this without US backing, and the United States are the big boys in town. Tokyo is looking seemingly more insistent that it will go to war with China on the assumption that the US, one of its long-time allies, will help back it up. However, the incident could be about to light a powder keg to trigger the world's largest international conflict. I've never been to Tokyo. It's one of the places I'd love to go. I would love to go to Tokyo. They're getting rid of migration, aren't they? They're not doing any migration. They're saying, no, we tried open doors. We're not doing that anymore. Japan is now looking to stand up to the Chinese military around the issue of Taiwan. I do think I'm going to be able. I'm going to open that, guys. I'm going to open it. It's going to get opened. It's going to get opened. This is the first one of this batch I've. The first one of this batch I've opened. Oh, it's looking good so far. Oh, shit. I've done it too fizzy. I've done it too fizzy. I'll go with that. I'm happy with that, yeah. Right, let me jump onto the chat, guys, because I will be closing this down in a second. Suck harder, Sean. Aye, Sean, you can't waste that froth. You pay good money for that. The Callas Info Warrior, California, Arizona, is investigative reporter, U.S. National Security, based in Southern California, also on YouTube. The national report is San Diego. Okay, well, all right. The Ministry of Defense in Tokyo confirmed reports that it was planning to deploy medium-range missiles to the island of Yonaguni, escalating the conflict into the military playing field. So this whole region, guys, any war with China, it's going to start in space. So the first rounds to be fired in that conflict will be people taking out other people's satellites. Now, hang on. Yonaguni forms part of the Ryukyu Islands, 68 miles north of Taiwan, putting it dangerous close to waters owned by Beijing and sparking World War III fears. So the first thing I'm going to say, guys, is when we talk about a conflict with China, the first battles will be in space. It's all about the Chinese missiles. Now, Chinese missiles, contrary to popular opinion, are not that advanced. They're heavily reliant on satellite technology, satellite GPS technology. Now, if you take out the Chinese GPS satellite system, then all of their that kill chain and all those missiles are just gone. So they basically won't have any missile defense. And nobody in their right mind is going to try and take on China with China's manufacturing capacity on their own shores without decapitating their kill chain first. So that will be the first step. Now, the Chinese are developing something called, I can't remember what it's called, but basically they're saying it's a competitor to Elon Musk's Space Link. What's it called? Starlink. They're saying it's a competitor to Elon Musk's Starlink. Now, Elon Musk's Starlink, counted whatever you think, Elon Musk's Starlink is a military application. That is for the military, nobody else. The fact that they can make money off the back of it, that's good. Now, everybody knows back in the 80s, 90s, noughties, everybody became dependent on GPS. Now, unfortunately, there's only a few GPS satellites, and they're in geostationary orbit. That means that as the world turns, those satellites stay in the same location, same relative location, relative to their position on Earth. So you can get your GPS location. Now, if these missiles are heavily reliant on those GPS signals, take out the satellites. Easy. They're big. They know where they are. Very easy. So what the solution to this was to have a lot of low Earth orbit satellites, smaller, faster, a lot easier to replace if one gets taken down. And if one does get taken down, you've got redundancy. So I think that's why the Chinese really are trying this competitor to Elon Musk's to Elon Musk's Starlink system. This can't be right. This can't be right. Googly saying British Army hero killed in a beer garden over an argument over chicken wings. Let me try and find this. Wow. 3 hours ago, I am gonna share this, guys. Man who admitted killing friend after row jailed. Hang on, let me try and find the chicken wings bit. I mean, what kind of chicken wings were they? Where were they from? I wonder if they were nice. Or they was like really spicy. Here we are. 3 hours ago, Hero Army Sergeant killed in pub garden row over chicken wings. Paul Ainscott, who served in the British Army for 24 years, was found dead at his home. A Hero Army Sergeant was killed after a row in a pub beer garden that erupted over chicken wings. Paul Ainscott, 57, who served in the British Army for 24 years, was tragically found dead at his home on June 24th last year. It came 2 days after he'd been assaulted by a friend in the pub after a row broke out about the food they were eating. The investigation stepped up when Paul's son uncovered messages on his phone. He found messages which Paul had exchanged with Liam Slack. The messenger indicated there had been an argument between the pair and they had been out drinking together in Leyland on the 22nd of June. It had been caused by Slack grabbing a chicken wing off Paul at the Stag Pub Beer Garden. I mean, is this an advert? I want to go and have these chicken wings, guys. A court heard Slack had thrown Paul's rucksack onto the floor and pushed Paul onto a wooden fence. One man saw the push, described how Slack pushed him clean over. So I think that I think this may be like not. I don't think this was an intentional thing. But anyway, listen, motherfucker's always going to die over chicken wings. I think this just highlights as well how crazy things can happen. And I don't think people don't really understand how dangerous everything is. I saw a video of some I think there was 2 black lads and they were pushing people into train tracks. So when people are waiting for the train and the trains are coming, they were just walking down pushing people, and I thought, is that where we are right now? Is that where we are? Remember, guys, pattern recognition. Right, listen, guys, I am going to close this down now. I'm going to close this down now. It's absolutely hammering it down with rain here, guys. It's absolutely hammering it down with rain. I don't know what happened to the internet earlier. Maybe it was the Chinese. Maybe it was the Russians. Maybe it was the Iranians. Maybe it was the Iranians. Maybe it was Mossad. I don't know. Maybe it was Mossad. But listen, guys, I am going to close this down now. You guys have been fantastic as always. Thank you, honestly, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, guys. Really helps, really lightens my mood. And I hope your mood has been a little bit. I hope your evening's been enriched as well. Just brace yourselves, guys, because I don't think people are ready for what's coming. We have a government right now in the United Kingdom who are taking away rights hand and foot. When these rights go, you have to fight for them. You have to fight to get them back, and they're making fighting. They're almost, we pretty much are disarmed in the United Kingdom. The last thing I think we had was trial by jury. And I think, that's pretty much gone as well. But anyway, guys, I'm going to close this down now. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. I may be in the house. I don't know. I think I'll be back out here. But I'll see you guys later.